Those are so cute. And I just started crying.
Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Friends, a Portland local band that's about to release their debut EP. I was wondering if you guys could give us a little intro about each of yourselves and kind of how Friends came to be.
Yeah, you want to go
Start here?
down this way? Okay, yeah, so I'm Pat. I play bass. Met Mac through her partner that I work with. And she had an Instagram post just being like, hey, we need a bass player. Does anybody play bass? And I was like, I'll play bass. And then it was just came and tried out, and it worked out. It was cool, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm Mac, and how did Friends start? I met Nate, our drummer, who couldn't be here today, at work, and he's been buddies with Matt since they were 15, and they lived together, and so just, started playing music all together and said, hey, let's make this a band.
I'm Matt. I play guitar for Friends, and it started when Nate and Mac were writing songs together at the house. Me and Nate lived together, and then one day he was like, she needs somebody to play guitar, and he's like, I'm sick of playing guitar. I'd love to play drums, and so we were just kind of a rotating cast, and then it just worked out, and then we found Pat and we found Jenna, and things have been going good.
I don't think I've ever heard someone say they want to swap from guitar to drums. That's a pretty unique thing, I feel like, but good for him. That's great.
He can explain himself later.
Yeah, I would love to hear that story. Anyway.
I'm Jenna. I just recently joined Friends. I think Nate found me on Instagram. Yeah. I don't actually know how that happened, but he messaged me. And he's like, do you want to play keys for the EP release show? And I was like, sure. And then I met up with him and got coffee. And he was like, do you want to be in the band? And I'm like, all right, that sounds fun. So here I am playing synth and keys.
Oh, that's so awesome. Hell yeah. So as someone who kind of joined the Portland scene later in life and as a transplant, joining initially, I was a little nervous about cold shoulders or just people not fully accepting new people coming into the scene and different things like that. I actually had the complete opposite thing happen, and for the past 3 years the Portland scene has been absolutely amazing for me. It's been such a great community and really nice for myself. I was just kind of curious how y'all have kind of traversed the scene so far as kind of a new band, or if you've kind of had links with other bands and different things like that.
Yeah. So I'm also a transplant. I come via Wisconsin.
Nice.
And
Ohio here, Midwest.
Hey,
Let's go.
Different time zones. Though.
Yeah, I know. True.
I don't understand time zones anyway. So.
Made up.
For farming.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep, it's a farming thing. Glad it's still around, right?
So glad. Glad for farming. Oh, wait, no, glad for time zones.
Glad for food, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's important.
Yep. So as a transplant in the Portland music scene, I actually, when I moved to Portland, it was at the same time that I was making a transition in my life to play more music and to be putting music out there in the world. And I felt Portland really surprised me with the open arms and open hearts, and anybody that I talked to about just creativity, creative processes, making art, sharing art, was down to have that conversation. And it led to the connections that I have here now with my bandmates too, which is super cool. And fortunately, ended up linking up with people who really care about fostering community and fostering spaces for that as well, which I'll let Matt speak more to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, segue.
No, it's such a great segue, though.
I was gonna ask you guys, did anybody hear about in Seattle they call it the Seattle Freeze?
Yeah,
but has anybody heard that concept before?
Yeah, totally.
Basically meaning people from the Pacific Northwest are kind of they already have their friend groups, they don't need new friends, and so yeah, it is just kind of hard to fit in.
Seriously.
And it's funny because I grew up in Washington and I went to Portland State for like 2 years, like when I was 20, like fresh into college. And so I did have friends, right? Like, you know, I started it up. I had a friend group. I came back and those people were like, I don't know who you are, bro. So yeah, I think it is hard. Like, I think like it's the introverted nature of Portland. Like, I think shows, you know, I was living in Denver for 10 years. I came back to Portland and I was like, shows are so subdued here. Like everybody's like embarrassed of being like excitable, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That
Don't get me
too.
started on
But
this.
that said, I mean, there are really charming qualities that come out of Portland for the lack of that kind of
Totally.
energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think like being a new band, you know, I think we were lucky enough to have the support of like a lot of stuff. Like Mac was working through the Singer-Songwriter Guild. And so we kind of got a little bit of a backbone from that just because, you know, Mac is still like hugely involved with that group. And I
That's
think
really
like me
cool.
and Nate just moving back, we're looking for new groups. And so like having just kind of the singer-songwriter community is a very like entry level, everybody's sweet, everybody wants to hear you play kind of thing. I mean, like, how do you feel about that connection? Like,
Yeah, I think that that's definitely what I was talking about as far as like people being
Yeah.
down for those conversations. I was seeking out communities that
Yeah.
were going to be open to that. I have never been in a rock band before, and so this is like all fresh, and I don't really know much about the industry or like best practices or etiquette, if there is etiquette in punk rock.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like the way that we're navigating it and figuring it out just feels like natural and good, and it really just feels like we're making friends who want to be living life in a way that's similar to the way that we want to live life, which is just to like make music, make art, and be happy.
Absolutely love that.
it's kind of a fine line, like between being yourself and then also going through, you know, the typical guidelines of how to be, you know, in the industry and be taken seriously in doing music, because you do see a lot of like amateur things that happen, and it's like, but we're also an amateur band, so like you can't be at fault for doing that.
No.
But the beauty is that, you know, Nate and I were both in bands for a long time, and Jenna has been in a lot of bands, and Pat's been in a bunch of bands. He was just out recording his own music all week.
Ooh, let's go.
Sans summer vacation, baby. No more teaching for Pat. So I think with that being said, like I kind of talk about it a lot with Nate, which is like we've kind of already had our years of being amateur. And while we aren't living in a place where we're recognized for the music we used to play, I think you can still take the lessons that you learn and, you know, use them in a way that's conducive to growing your music and looking professional. But also, I think you learn the lessons of not being a piece of shit too. You know, like I think you also learn how to drop your ego and just let your work speak for itself and just be yourself. And that's what I loved about meeting Mac, was like Mac's music was so honest from the get-go, and just no ego, and just truly like it was herself and like everything she wrote. And so I was like, I don't know, how'd you guys feel about hearing Mac's music? Like I know Pat, you had songs like right when you joined that you already liked.
Yeah, I mean, Secondhand is a banger. I remember I went to your album release for like just Mac John, and I was just like, yeah, this is such a good energy, and you guys just look like you're having so much fun, and it was so honest, you know, and your songwriting is just so honest and playful and creative that like it's just a no-brainer to want to be part of that, you know. And it was fun that we got to re-record Secondhand, you know, and I actually got to be on it. That's
I
dream
love
come
that
true,
tie-in.
man. Yeah,
That's so dope.
And you made it sound so sick.
That's awesome. I'm kind of curious also, like, just with, you guys kind of touched on it a little bit about, like, maneuvering through the scene and things like that, but how has it been, you know, without kind of an EP released yet? Like, what's it been like trying to get shows and, like, being like, hey, we're this band, and, like, you know, we have, like, some, you know, some stuff and different things, but, like, kind of how do you work through that until like you kind of get that first release and kind of those things moving?
Well, like, once again, I didn't know the difference. I'm so new to all of this that I just figured like that's a part of the struggle in booking shows.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean...
Exactly. Like, I just figured, playing the shows that you're like medium excited about was just going to be like the standard. But even just having a couple of songs out now, we're getting asked to play shows that are like more up our alley and just like better. I mean, love all of the bands that we've played with up to this point, but definitely finding that we're able to put together bills that just work really, really perfectly, and venues are less skeptical of us right now. So I'm just like starting to hit that stride of like, oh, it can be easier to book shows when you have music out. Whoa.
I will say we got lucky too. I mean, some of those shows that we played before having music out with bands like the Apricots and Non-Binary Girlfriend were like huge gets. I mean, like, I don't know whether they just had heard about us or whether they're just very kind people, which I can say they're very kind people at the very least. But yeah, we've talked about that a lot with like trying to book out the rest of the summer is kind of like, do we wait till the album's out and then try and book now that they know what we sound like, or do we, you know, just try and stay on track and try and be professional about it and just have shows booked through December? And I don't know. I think we still follow our guts on that and just do what feels comfortable. Awesome. So yeah, I think we got a couple shows going into the summer that we're already excited about. But I think we are still waiting to see like if there's anybody in the wings that's like hears this and is inspired by it. So that's the hope.
That's so cool. I love that. Yeah, I've always been so curious about that because like most of my friends here have they've just been doing the same project for a while, and that's awesome, you know, but they have like such a discography of music and things. So like I've always wondered if you had to like send over demos, or if you're sending like, oh, this was a video that someone took at this last live show, like we're a real band.
Yeah, well, I put out a solo record in March of 2023.
Nice. Okay.
And there were one or two songs on there that sound kind of like what we're doing now, and so those were the songs that we just would send along as an example of what we sound like and what our vibe is. Even if it wasn't the most accurate, it got the job done. It got us through, but like it feels so good now to be sharing stuff that's like, this is exactly what we are, and just like being able to create beyond just the songs, but like to create the image that supports the music that we're creating, and being able to like put that out there concisely feels really good. And I feel like it's easier to like step into a musical identity once we have all of those pieces in place.
So your next show is your EP release show at Holocene with Heaven's Gate and Prince Rupert's Glass. That's on the 23rd, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious how excited, or like, do you guys have any songs specifically now that are going to be added to the set list that you're like, oh, I can't wait to play this? Like, is there anything that you're just like, oh man, this is just like, I need this, so that way now all the shows are like this now, or anything like that?
Yeah, so we've been playing the songs that are on the EP. We have been playing now for over a year, most of them. And so although we're very excited to be putting them out into the world, we've just been playing them a long time. And so we do have some newer songs on the set list too that we're stoked to be playing, as well as a secret cover that we've never played a cover before. Actually, that's not true. We did play a Christmas cover, but it doesn't count.
What was the Christmas
We're
cover?
gonna play it in July.
What was the Christmas cover?
Have Yourself a Merry Little
Yeah,
Christmas.
Have Yourself a
I was
Merry
gonna
Little
say, yeah.
That's beautiful.
It rocked pretty hard, but yeah.
The cover I was psyched about. I think it's a great one for Mac's voice. Like I don't want to give anything away, but it is a
working song.
A working song about work in life and what it's like to work at work. By a treasure of a human being, I will say that. And we'll play it as our encore, which like we're not gonna actually encore, but we are gonna do the thing of like, hey, we're done. Just kidding. We're gonna do one more song. So if you're listening to this interview, stick around till the end.
Yeah, don't leave.
We're doing it.
So the EP is releasing on the 21st. I was wanting to kind of know what your influences were for these, the time you were making the EP, and like just what you've been listening to recently.
Yeah, like musical influences.
Or
Yeah.
any. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people watch cinema and different things like that, and they're like, oh wow, this like inspires me to do something else.
There was this amazing Thai dish that I had that really inspired.
It's totally understandable.
Our songs are spicy.
I mean, do you want to talk about the single a little bit? Like, because that one I feel like has a pretty direct influence, right?
Yeah. So we just released a song called Neighbors, and that song I initially started writing during one of the PDX songwriting challenges.
Cool.
And the challenge was to write the next hit single for your favorite artist. And I decided Courtney Barnett was going to be the artist because I have always been such a huge Courtney Barnett fan, and just came up with a guitar chord progression and strumming that sounded Courtney Barnett-esque to me, and did like a journal entry of just like my surroundings, because all of her lyrics are just very mundane and very observational. So those were the focuses. And yeah, ended up creating a little ditty that felt very Courtney Barnett, and then just sat on it for like a year until we were looking for something else to cook up together, and Courtney Barnett-ified it, plus friends-ified it, in all of the right ways.
That's amazing.
So yeah, she was a huge influence for that song, but I think that also, like, I think we knew pretty early on that would be one of the singles, and so there's definitely, Courtney Barnett was an influence for other aspects of the album, as well as artists like the Beths, Sharon Van Etten, Julia Jacqueline is a big influence for me lyrically. And melodically. Yeah, who else?
I'd say Dr. Dog is one that I always like.
Nice.
Kind of like that kind of central like rock revival.
Yeah.
Is kind of fun. Like thinking about other bands in Portland, I've kind of been like, what do we want to bring to like kind of fill in the gaps? Like, you know, we have bands that sound like The Strokes, and we have, you know, bands that sound like Vampire Weekend and things like that. So I was like, yeah, what is the sound now that we've like done Mac's songs? Like how can we as like, you know, because Mac's writing all this stuff and it's coming from her, but as musicians, I feel like the backing band has to kind of be like, what are we gonna do differently to like make this stand out? So I definitely went with like, you know, the Courtney Barnett was easy to just like, you know, make it sound really psyche and weird, and
Of
so
course.
that was a quick one. But like there's a song off of Mac's original album that we still play called Not Ready, and I was just trying to figure out like how to rock it out, and we kind of do like this Dr. Dog kind of breakdown in the second half, like going into the second verse, and so like I got a lot from that, and then I also coming off of Mac's writing a whole album and then us trying to adapt to it, there was parts where there was just kind of big instrumental breaks where we were like, we don't know what to do with this part, and it was like Matt should just solo. And so there's like 4 or 5 songs where I have to like figure out how to do a solo, and it sucks. Doing guitar solos is super lame. Like to make them not sound cheesy is the hardest thing in the world. And it's thanks, dude, but it sucks. Like because it's this level of like it can be kind of cheesy, but you also want it to like sound tight. So I would say like Wilco does a great job of like doing like really interesting, like, you know, play one note but then like bend it, make it last a long time, come in weird squiggles.
I feel like you also do such a good job of like personifying the solos. Like each song, it just like feels like a different little creature comes out.
I love that.
That's
for
what multiple
the solo.
personalities will do to you. Man.
Love it. Don't lose any of them.
I appreciate it.
Even on like Neighbors though, like I pulled a lot from Wilco on that
Yeah,
bass line.
dude, your bass
Yeah.
line in that song is killer.
And also, like, on that song, too, we have, like, a Parquet Quartz type vibe.
We
Yeah.
really, I didn't think about
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
that's a great pull. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last one would be Fox Warren was another like kind of solo thing that it was another guitar solo that I really looked at and just tried to analyze why I liked it a lot. But yeah, and then the Beths I love the Beths. I've been a huge fan of the Beths, and I was so psyched you said that because we wrote this song called Shower Beer that doesn't really fit the rest of the EP at all. It's a standalone, feel good, but very punk rock forward jam, and it's always, we almost made it a single, but it's what's gonna boost the second half of the EP for people that haven't heard it yet. So I think, or the first half, yeah, I guess that's true.
It's just gonna boost
well,
them right into
whatever songs haven't been released as singles, it's gonna boost that. So it's for the mystery, the mystique. So yeah, big fan of the Beths for that. It really does, like, their first album was so big for me, and to take a song that like originally was not super fast or like punk rocky at all and then make it our own felt very Beths inspired.
That's so sick. Since you've been playing the EP for a little while now, I feel like it might be possible, but could each of you try to explain the EP in one sentence?
Ooh.
It can be feels, vibes, sound, whatever you're thinking, like, but just one sentence.
I'd be super curious to hear all of yours first.
Oh, good. Yeah, who's got a full sense about the EP?
I'm like new here.
I was gonna say,
I'm pretty new. I don't know if I could do like a sentence.
A word.
Okay, just give me a minute though. I need a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, is it a word or a sentence?
So it can be. So we were trying to decide between. Would you guys prefer 3 words or a sentence? Whichever one you want. 3 words. Yeah. Let's do it.
Cool. I would say for my
just
first
repeat
word,
it, yeah.
groovy, because there's a lot of groove. Like Neighbors is super groovy. Like that's the song that made me want to join the band.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was like, this is sick. Good. Also moody. I like that. I like it's a little moody. I don't know.
You're like one word away, bro.
I'm like, give me a minute. Let me.
Okay, I'll say, I think it's uplifting, I think it's motivating, and I think it's self-discovering.
Nice.
I like that.
Psyche, beautiful, and birds.
That's.
I love
Birds
that.
is good though.
Yeah.
Birds is good.
Birds is good.
We do love birds. We got a bunch of cardboard cutout birds just for the release show.
Yeah.
Here, while you're thinking about it, I'll grab the birds so they can see the birds.
Please.
I'm gonna
I worked so
say.
hard on these birds. I also have to sign out of work.
I got a word.
Subtle engine rev.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Sit with that.
Yeah, that is good. I like that.
And birds.
Yeah.
And birds.
I cut out all these birds for our show.
Oh yay.
My girlfriend Hillary made the 2 best ones.
Yeah.
We got a good duck. We got a crow with a peanut.
Okay, pass it down. Pass it down.
Be careful though. I only made one of each. We got a bluebird.
Oh my
We
gosh.
got this guy's a kingfisher and a cardinal. And I got a hummingbird. I made a little hummingbird for your mic stand. because
Oh,
we have a
that's
song
so
about
cute.
a hummingbird. So the band is very birds. It's a great descriptor, Pat.
That's amazing.
Which is funny because I, at the end of 2023, decided in 2024 I will overcome my fear of birds. And so
Is this making you
part of
uncomfortable?
no, but if it was real, I'd feel weird. Part of my movement towards that 2024 goal of overcoming my fear of birds was in 2023 to observe birds more, and through observing them, I ended up writing songs about them.
What plans do y'all have post EP release?
I think the plan is to take rest for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm personally going camping in the Wallowa Mountains.
Nice.
Excited to experience that for the first time. And then we're playing a show July 12th with Moody, Idaho, and Willerny. And then also playing at Mississippi Street Fair, which we're super pumped about.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's packed too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say yes. I remember the first time I went, it was like 100 degrees or something, and it was just ridiculous. But it's fun. Like,
That'll be a
it's fun when you can go
set.
into the bar. Like, yeah, that will be a. Hopefully, it's cool. You know, it's been pretty solid so far. But yeah, that'll be a super fun show. I'm very excited for that.
And then after a little resting and some more shows, we're super stoked to start writing again, getting a cabin in the woods,
Yeah.
doing it cabin style. Writing songs, that is.
Documentary doing a cabin style. I mean, it's right outside of Rainier. So
Yeah.
apparently, there's like a very treacherous river. Like we were like, can we go swimming out there? And, like, the
Yeah.
people at the cabin were like, I mean, it's like 40-mile-per-hour, like rushing rapids. Like,
Jeez.
but they got a hot tub, so. I
didn't know that.
I was
That's
gonna say,
killer.
yeah. So
Yes.
we'll.
And just to clarify, doing it cabin style, meaning writing more music.
Yeah.
In a cabin.
What else?
Of course.
would people
Yeah.
think
What
that
else would?
is?
Yeah. What else would bands
Gross.
do? You know? Come on. That will be cool. We kind of did a similar thing. Like when was that? Like last November or something. We got a cabin out in the coast or that, and just like worked on a bunch of stuff, and also like we actually ended up not getting into the hot tub, which was sad, but it's
Is that a personal
understandable.
choice?
I can't remember.
Was there a small troll that was like guarding it?
Yeah.
That's like a,
That's pretty valid.
Oh yeah, that's true. We got buzz balls for Casey, and that was
Just for Casey?
Yeah, just for Casey.
No.
Yeah.
Why would you poison a friend
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
And buzzballs.
Yeah. We caused
Buzzballs have
this.
made a lot of people sober. You know, you're not alone.
So do y'all? Oh, sorry. So do y'all have anything or anyone you wanna shout out before the end of the interview or anything?
Do we want to go in order again? And just do Pat and then go this way?
Anybody, anything? Shout outs?
I don't know. I'm working on an EP.
Ooh, let's go! Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
This is exactly what that's for.
It's under Willie. You can follow it as Will I Am on Instagram, but there's a there's a caveat though. There's a caveat. It's not a W. It's 2 V's instead.
Oh, okay.
Because
That
it's
is
edgy.
good.
But yeah. So Will I Am with 2 V's.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and that should be out. I don't know. I'm finishing it up right now, so we'll see when that's out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out my parents.
I'm going to shout out your parents.
Yeah, my parents. Extremely big fans of Friends, and keep on coming out from Wisconsin to support us in various ways. And
so
they're just
sweet.
So sweet. I love you guys.
I got one more that I want to shout out. Look up my buddy. It's under Whole Milk. He released an EP called Lock, and it's
awesome.
tight. So
Hey.
listen
Yeah.
to that too.
Whole milk.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Man, bunch of shout outs. I want to shout out Buddy Wincoop. They came and played our basement. And they have been putting out some new music recently. Huge on that. All of it's fantastic. There's a couple singles out right now, so go listen. Hannah Glaver is a good friend of ours, and she's been putting out a ton of stuff. I think her full album's coming out in fall. I've gone to like all of her single releases, and she's been playing around town doing solo shows too. If you want to know about somebody that's working hard right now in Portland, Hannah Glaver is working hard right now. They wanted me to talk about me and Nate run a little DIY venue out of our basement called Archy's Bunker. You can find us on Instagram for that. I'm not going to tell you where it is. DM
Yep.
friends, or DM Archy's Bunker, ARCHYS. We do shows once a month because we're old guys and we don't want to do more than one show. get out of our house except for one day a week. I'm super into it. Yeah, I just want to plug like all of my individual friends, bands. All of you guys play separate music, so I hope you all talk about your individual.
I don't know if Jenna, you might have already been able or going to say this, but Jenna joined our band, and then we just happened to realize that she is releasing an album the same day that we are releasing an album.
No way!
Which feels super kismet, super perfect,
That's
and
so awesome.
already has a couple singles out that fucking rock. So check it out.
Oh,
yeah.
that's sick.
And also listen to Mac John when she plays solo, because that's how it all started.
Well, I want to shout out you guys because you guys are great, and I'm so happy to be in this band
Quack, quack, quack.
with these lovely humans. Yeah, I guess I was gonna shout out my own album.
I was
but
gonna
you
say,
already
please
did.
shout it out though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do it again.
Okay, it is an LP. It's called Melted Sun, and it's out on the same day the EP comes out, the 20th.
Exciting.
And there's a bunch of singles already out, and you should
Yes.
listen to them because they're really freaking good.
Please listen to them. It's my first ever releasing anything, so
Whoa.
yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Do you have 3 words for that album?
Yeah, actually,
Prepared for that one.
definitely sad girl a little bit.
I love that.
Okay.
No, that's definitely sad.
Definitely sad girl. Perfect.
Damn.
Yes, yeah. And I would just, I don't know. What would you say from listening to the singles? I don't know.
I want to say edgy, but like
I know
a
that's kind of
soft,
what I was
edgy.
thinking too. Well, it
Ooh.
works into it. Like
Yeah.
it kind of pops up when you don't expect it to. Like it's
Soft with a bite.
it's smooth and then surprises you. Like that's kind of the thing.
like
Is
that.
like it's
Cool.
kind of like driving up to the base of a mountain.
Aw,
Like it just comes out of absolutely nowhere.
Hell
sweet.
yeah.
Like traveling to Colorado,
Yeah.
baby.
Wait. Cool. I like that.
Shout out to that place that we both lived for a while.
Also, shout out to Promote PDX because I said it before, but
guys.
y'all are killing it, and super appreciate y'all chatting with us and
course.
promoting our music and all
Other
Portland
people's
bands' music and shows.
We need more folks like you guys.
Yeah,
The
you're an
little-
amazing
the
resource
little
in this
guys on the
community.
spot, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. That's very kind of you. I very much also want to shout out Archy's Bunker. This place
thank you,
is
man.
super sick. Follow them on Instagram for shows and DM for address. This place is so much fun every time. Local scenes in general need house shows. It's super important. This is a great spot. Thank you all so much for coming out and doing this interview. Huh?
Oh yeah,
There is a
I forgot to
bakery.
shout out your
I
business.
feel like weird about it, but all right.
No, just do it.
I
Yeah.
have a bakery. It's called Jen's Pastries.
Ooh.
It's in Southwest Portland. I've been doing it for like 6.5 years now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we make a lot of stuff. We
That's
make
sick.
croissants, cake, cookies.
And there's ducks that live there.
Yeah, and we
ducks that
are
live
basically like a wildlife freaking habitat at this point.
No
We started
way.
with squirrels that we have animals literally coming to our door like all day.
They eat the croissant.
Yeah, true. They know it's
Yep.
good.
Croissant.
They want them. Yeah, we have a mallard and his
Aw.
wife that come, and they are so cute. Yeah, we love animals there, so it kind of
That's
makes
adorable.
Our day. But yeah, that's my bakery.
I love that.
Well,
I love
thanks, Nat. We appreciate it, man. Thanks to all of you for interviewing us, and
Yeah.
we'll see you all the 23rd at Holocene.
See you there.
I'm gonna